there are a few teeny tiny, itty bitty little things you can do every single day to save money by using less. But before we get started, if you're new to our channel, I'm Julia. I am one half of the Canny couple, a small homestead family in rural Virginia that work every single day to merge homesteading and frugality. And I'm going to tell you, these itty bitty little things that I do have come through trial and error. They have came to us by me just going about our day to day, trying to find new and better ways to do things. And some of them have been happy accident. But little things in frugality really do tend to add up. And a lot of people might say this just isn't worth the effort, but it can be. It can be because those itty bitty little savings really do add up. And that is one of the principles that guide frugality. You do lots of little things and they really add up to big savings. So let's jump into that. But if you're new to our channel, please hit the like and subscribe button. We would really, really appreciate it. Just help us out here. So the very first thing, and this is what I've came across, you know, this is a new one for me. Small cups for condiments. So control how much ketchup, syrup, anything like that your family uses. You're like, Julia, it's a little micromanaging. It's really not. It's really not, because we always see those families, they take the syrup, they just dump it all out. You're getting way more syrup than you actually need, way more. So start with a little cup. You can always go back and get more for ketchup, anything like that. So with our little one, what we were doing was our refrigerator had broken and I needed a way to get ketchup from the basement upstairs without having to make an extra trip. So I handed Erin an even smaller cup than this one. And I said, go get ketchup like to right here. And you know what? It was the perfect amount because I have taught her to use a little amount of ketchup. Even for Erin, we've been working on not using so much sauces because of the cost, because we have been trying to do a lot better, trying to eat better, trying to get better ingredient sauces and things like that, and it's a lot more expensive. So he's been learning to cut back on the sauces. But these do help, little cups. I've been doing this with syrup for a really long time. I just never really applied it to everything else either. Now, you have to wash it after it's done, but the amount of use you actually use afterwards, this changes everything, because you get just enough to, you know, flavor the food the way you need to flavor ketchup for your French fries or whatever it is you're eating, your hot dog. Your syrup on your pancake, you don't need to just be eating syrup, you need to taste pancake too. At least in my opinion. I don't eat syrup on my pancakes, so you know, we have differing opinions about that in this house. My little one tells me, Mommy, you need syrup. I'm like, no, I don't. I'm good. I'm very good. The next one, and I'm sorry, I'm going to have to look at my notes here, is to store your snacks in jars. So these are dried figs. Yep, dried figs. Store them in jars because we came across this by happy accident. Happy accident. When I was storing things in jars, I started to notice we didn't go through them nearly as fast because I could see how much we were using. So I can make this jar of chips last, if we're having Mexican this week, for this entire week of meals between all of us, because I can see, like, okay, we're halfway through, we should be about here. I can see how many we're using. And it really does help. It takes away that mindless eating from a bag. You're not mindlessly eating those items from that bag. Then another happy accident with these is your food will last longer. So these chips we got on deal, like $2 for a great big old family size bag, good ingredients, organic, all the stuff we look for at a discount grocer. Well, the reason why they were such a good deal was because they were getting really close to their date. But putting them in a jar, using my sealer, and taking out all the oxygen, these things last so much longer. You basically stop the aging process for them for the most part. They last a lot longer. You just try them before you use them. But I have found by sealing these foods in these jars, they do last quite a bit longer. When I make my homemade crackers, if I were to leave them out, they would have, you know, be gone in, you know, they would be bad in like a couple weeks. When I do it this way, they're good for like 6 months. I know because I did test jar. I did test jar and tested them and made Erin try them, and we tried them at 6 weeks. We tried them again in a couple of months. We tried them again, and they lasted for ages. I mean, they did not go bad because we sealed them and they lasted forever. And this was a homemade cracker. purely homemade cracker. And so it does help. It will help your shelf life, and it also allows you to kind of look at things you normally wouldn't buy that close to your expiration date if it can be shelf stable and it doesn't go in the freezer. Make sure you label your perishables. Make sure you know, like if you have tomatoes, make sure you're labeling when you get them, when they're going to go bad. Make sure you're looking at that. You have a list of your perishable items so you can go through and make sure you put those up or use them before they do go bad. It really does help. If you're a homestead kitchen, you can can them, put them in the freezer, can later, whatever you're doing, but label, it does help. Now, I don't ever have that many perishables in my kitchen. I learned through much trial and error. With berries, I could not get to the berries if I did not have a plan, and they would go bad before we ever got to them. So we felt like we were just wasting all this time. So the past few years, it is either that day we pick them or the next time we pick them. Like right now, I can do it every 4 days I can put berries up. We don't have so many that I have to do them right then. I can do them the next time we pick. But if we had a lot, I would be washing and putting them up that day. The day we pick them, they would go up. Because if I don't do this step, we're going to be wasting our time picking these berries because we would have had some loss. So it really, really does help. Freeze your leftovers in individual portions. You're basically making a homemade freezer meal. That's what you're doing. That's all you're doing. So I have these little ones. When I have leftovers, I'll pop them in here, put them in the freezer. If I need something for a quick Saturday lunch or Sunday dinner, out of the freezer it goes into the refrigerator. Then it can go into the little oven. Tastes just like it did when we cooked it the first time for a busy night. That's what those are for, busy, busy nights. So you always want to make sure you're looking for those. Measure your servings. Seems so simple, but again, you're like, Julia, you're making me wash another dish. Yes, but we all eat more than we should if we're just spooning things out onto a plate. I like to use these, or I like to use this spoon. This is a good size spoon. I can ladle, especially if I'm trying to portion things out when I'm doing a meal plan like oatmeal or anything like that. I'll just go through and ladle it through, and then I can add extra scoops. So I'll do like two spoonfuls, and then if I have more, then I can do like a half a spoonful till it's all gone. But these do help me. You can look to see how much is this. This isn't very much. It's not that big of a spoon whenever you're doing like big meal prep type portions. So measure it out, portion out, find a method that works for you. I like the spoon myself. It works for me. But use a measuring cup. You can get whatever you need. I'm of the school of you can never have too many measuring cups. If you ever look in my measuring cup drawer, you would understand why I say that, because I have way more than a family of 3 actually needs. But you're not taking them away from me, just like you're not taking away my little scissors. I have lots of scissors as well, because I'm also of the school of you need to have scissors in every room of the house. It just makes life easier. And so always look at things like that. Repurpose your scraps. So if you have, like for us, we give them to the chickens a lot of times. You can use them for stalks and anything like that. Just repurpose them. Make sure you're not letting your food go to waste. Make sure there is a purpose for it. Eggs, you can use those eggshells for the garden, things like that. If you don't have chickens, you can feed them back to. You can do so much compost. Do so much more than what you think. So much more. So just really kind of look into these things. And then lastly, try to plan 1 meal a week from your pantry, what you have on hand. This will help cut your grocery budget back just a little bit. Now, everybody knows I try to plan all my meals from what I have on hand. But a lot of people don't have a pantry like mine, and I get that, totally get that. So try to work through and, do 1 meal. Then build your pantry up to 2 meals, then 3 meals, then 4 meals. And what you're doing is you're creating a grocery meal plan that is based off of yesterday's prices and not today's. So you're doing past prices, which were a little bit cheaper, versus future prices, which seem just to be going up and up and up. I don't know. Are yours going down? Ours keep going up, it seems. So I'm seeing no end in sight. So let me know down below, what do you do to use less? What has been your best hack? I would say probably the glass jars. This has been the biggest thing for us because I really started to notice how much we were eating. And I will also add one other tip to this. If you are buying snacks and you're eating them from the bag, say like chips. Aaron used to get these spicy chili lime, like corn-like chips, and he loved them. And he was going through like a couple bags a week, which was fun. But then he started rationing himself to 1 bag a week. So we would go get 4 bags a month. He would do 1 bag a week. And he started slowly rationing himself. Put a date or a time frame on how long those chips are supposed to last. Once it's gone, it's gone. You don't get any more. It stops your mindlessness. This is all about consciously using less. Consciously using less ketchup and other things that you're just pouring onto a plate just to pour onto a plate. You don't need a mound of ketchup. Don't tell Aaron I said that. But you don't need a mountain of ketchup. You just need a little bit of ketchup. Go back and get more if it's not enough. Add a little bit, add a little bit. It's a lot cheaper than pouring out 1/3 of a bottle of ketchup, which can happen with littles because they think everything needs to be covered in ketchup. So it's all about creating a conscious effort to use less in the kitchen to help you save money in the long run. So let me know in the comments below, what do you do to use less? I would love to hear from you. As always, make sure you check out our other content, hit the like button, subscribe. We would really appreciate it. And thank you for joining us on the Candy Couple, where we work hard, live simple, and enjoy life. Have a wonderful day.